हरि बोल। Parivacharya Sutta Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Channa Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki, Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki, प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधारा श्रीवसति गौर भक्त वृंद की, श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुन राधा कुन गिरि गोवर्धन की, वृंदावन धाम की, मथुरा धाम की, नवदीप धाम की, श्री जगन्नाथ स्वामी की, यमुना माई की, श्रीमती तुलसी देवी की, सामवेद भक्त वृंद की, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदी. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimate Bir Krishna Goswami Niti Namne Namoham Sanikashaya Prabhupada Priyate Suditashdi Nishthabem Tasya Vakyanuvadine. So, Hare Krishna everyone. Good morning. Welcome to this morning Srimad Bhagavatam class at Sri Radha Krishna Radha Gopinath Temple, North Sydney, Australia. Welcome to our online viewers. There are some viewers on Mayapur TV, some on ISKCON Sydney YouTube, and some on the Facebook. So welcome to you all. This morning we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 21, titled Conversation Between Manu and Kadama. And the verse we are reading from is text 23. Yes. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devam Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nasta Prayashu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Okay. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Viditva Tava Chaityam Me Puraiva Samayojitat Yad Artham Atma Niyamais Tvayevaham Samarchitaha. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Viditva Tava Chaitam Me Puraiva Samayojitat Yat Artham Atma Niyamais Tvayevaham Samarchitaha. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Viditva Tava Chaitam Me Puraiva Samayojitat Yad Artham Atma Niyamaish Tvayevaham Samarchitaha. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Vidatva Tava Chaitam Me Puraiva Samayojitat Yad Artham Natma Niyamais Tvayevaham Samarchitaha. Shri Bhagavanuvāca Viditva teva chaitam me Puraiva samayojitat Yadartham atma niyamais Tvayevaham samarchitaha Shri Bhagavanuvāca Viditva tava chaitam me Puraiva samayojitat Yadartham natma niyamais Tvayeham samarchitaha. Anyone else? Yes, yep. Please go ahead. Shri Bhagavanuvāca Viditva tava chaitam me It's okay. Puraiva samayojitat Yad artham atma niyamais Tvayevaham samarchitaha. Good try. Okay, so the words and their meanings. Shri Bhagavanuvāca. The Supreme Lord said, Viditva, understanding, Tava, your, Chaityam, mental condition, Me, by me, Pura, previously, Eva, certainly, Samayoji, was arranged, Tat, that, Yat Artham, for the sake of which, Atma, of the mind and senses, Niyamai, by discipline, Tvaya, by you, Eva, only, Aham, I, Samarchita, have been worshipped. So we've got the translation of this verse and the purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so the translation, the meaning of this verse means, the Supreme Lord said, having come to know what was in your mind, I have already arranged for that, for which you have worshipped me well through your mental and sensory discipline. So we can all repeat. The Supreme Lord said, having come to know what was in your mind, I have already arranged for that which you have worshipped me well through your mental and sensory discipline. Okay, so the purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead in His Paramatma feature is situated in everyone's heart. He knows, therefore, the past, the present, and future of every individual person, as well as his desires, activities, and everything about him. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita that he is seated in the heart as a witness. The personality of Godhead knew the heart's desire of Kadarma Muni, and he had already arranged for the fulfillment of his desires. That's lucky. He never disappoints a sincere devotee, regardless of what he wants. Wow, this is really good. Become a devotee of Lord Krishna. He never disappoints a sincere devotee, regardless of what he wants. But he never allows anything which will be detrimental to the individual's devotional service. He never allows anything which will be detrimental to the individual's service. So, Mangal Charan. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Bitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Bitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishbhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Trubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this is a really interesting topic because we all worship Lord Krishna for a reason, right? We all have something, the ulterior motive. What is our ulterior motive? We might want to know God. We want to get close to God. We are looking for some answers. Or we are after some money and we ask Krishna for some wealth, maybe some lucky streak. So we are maybe after some knowledge. But we all have some certain desires inside us. And this particular verse tells you how Krishna knows what you are asking for. This particular verse is quite interesting actually. Every devotee of Lord Krishna, they already know this, the secret, how Krishna knows what you want. The secret is really that he is a Paramatma, or the Paramatma means the super soul within you. He's seated in your heart. So, how do you actually believe that? Understand that? It's actually quite easy to understand. Once you understand that you are the soul, right, occupying the body, obviously if you are the soul, then there has to be a super soul there, naturally. It has to come from somewhere. So it's fairly easy to understand you are there, you are driving the body of your car, the car of your body, basically. Your body is just like a car, and you are driver. So who's driving that body? If you don't have the soul in there, your body will not work. I mean, you'll be dead. So the reason you are alive and the body is working is because you are present in it as a soul, and you're functioning, and it's functioning. And if the soul is there, then obviously there has to be a super soul. Who's the super soul? Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna is a super soul. So everyone's got a super soul, every individual. It is said, like Lord Krishna, who is God, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he actually wants to please us too. He wants to fulfill our desires. And our desires is basically to go out there and enjoy. That's why we're in the material world. Enjoy what? All kinds of stuff. We've got we've got our senses, we've got our mind, we've got our intelligence. We want to use that to have fun and to be happy. So he goes, okay, well, you can have it. So what he does, Lord Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, in the form of Mahavishnu, we all know this, so sort of it's a repetition, but he creates the material world, all these planets and things, right, as Mahavishnu. So the reason he does it so that we can enjoy the material world. There's another major reason, is this gives us this intelligence, so that we can realize that all this is not going to last forever. So what he does, he enters there are many universes, obviously. So he enters every single universe as a universal soul. He's a universal soul. The reason is, he's got to make those planets work. Those planets are not going to work by themselves. So what he does, he injects himself. And so the sun rises on time, the moon shines on time, planet Mars is spinning there, Jupiter, or whatever other planets they are. In so many, so he enters, he's a universal soul. But not only that, he places himself as a super soul. He enters every atom, every particle. And he also enters you. Now, we're going to be able to sort of analyze why he enters the super soul. The super soul enters your body. You are a living entity. Why he enters? So one of the clue that we were given here is Kadarma Muni. He had a desire, right, to get married to likewise, equal statured wife. And Krishna, the Supreme Lord, is telling him, my dear devotee, I already know what you want. And I've already arranged for it. So the clue is there. That's the clue. He enters as a super soul because he wants to know what you want. That's how he knows. So if you want to know how did Krishna know this, he's there. He's watching every single move. There's a song, every move you make, every smile you take, I'll be watching you. It always reminds me of Krishna. I've heard that song. It reminds me of Krishna. I don't know about the rest of you, but Krishna watches you every single time through the Paramatma. And that's how he knows. And so you don't really need to, he actually knows that you're going to go to the altar there today and ask for what? He already knows that. There's no point in asking him the same. He knows. You're going to ask him, this morning I asked him, can I please, I'm not feeling that well, so let me survive this class and then I can go and pass out in my room and no problem. So he knows I'm going to ask him that. So the whole point is that he's in your, with you. There's a story, I'm sure you've all heard of it before. The description, the way it's described is you are the soul and the super soul is right beside you. It is just like two birds sitting on a branch, right? Two birds sitting on a branch. One bird, that's you. The other bird is the super soul. And he's watching you do all these things. Right now, he's watching me speak about him in class to you guys. He's watching all that. Why does he do that? Well, he has a few functions. First of all, he knows it's my desire to sit here and give a class, right? He knows it's your desire to sit there and listen to the class, take notes or whatever, bhakti. He knows that desire. But he's there not just as a witness, not as to know, but he's there to facilitate you. He's there. It's said in the Bhagavad Gita. He facilitates you. He gives you the intelligence so that you can actually walk up to the temple, find the time. He gives you the intelligence, the knowledge. Work out your timetable, your schedule, and you are here at 8 a.m. or 7 a.m., whichever time. So he facilitates you. He gives you the transportation. He gives you the money. He gives you the time. He gives you the shelter, the clothes. So he facilitates you. What else does he do? Well, he has fun. He's known as Sachidananda Vigraha. So he's enjoying through you. You think that you are enjoying walking to the temple, singing kirtans. Of course, you have fun, you enjoy that. But he enjoys with you. So that is another function. There's 4 functions, basically. First of all, he's a witness. Secondly, he's a facilitator. And then he's the enjoyer. So he enjoys through you. And then he maintains. So he maintains everything. In other words, it's his job to provide and keep it going. So all of those things kind of put together. So there are two facets to it. One is a perspective of a devotee. You look at it through a devotee's eyes, and one non-devotee's eyes. So for a devotee, which applies to all of us here, we know there's a super soul within us. So what do we do? If we do realize that, if we are aware, what do? Okay, don't ask for anything that we're not supposed to. Be careful of what we ask for. That's what we do. We say, okay, well, we'll be very, very careful. Today I'm not going to ask for money, too much money. Say you do want money. It says here, right here in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that Krishna fulfills the desires of all his sincere devotees. Did you know that? He does. Krishna fulfills the desires of all his sincere devotees. So, if it is your sincere desire to earn money, he may give it. The only reason there's a proviso there, he's not going to give it, is if that much money that you desire is detrimental to your spiritual life. In other words, you use that money, you abuse the money. And so you forget about Krishna. So the whole point is when we come, we say, Krishna, bow down to you, I've given myself to you, surrender to you, please take care of me. Never let me forget you, always let me remember you. Those two things, right? Never forget Krishna, always remember Krishna. If that's our desire, if that's what we've done, then asking for money, that much money, if it helps us remember Krishna, if it helps us never forget him, he will certainly say, yes, there you go. You can have as much money. Not only that, he will give you the intelligence to get it. He will facilitate you to get it. And that's why we have so many devotees. They're super rich. Right? What's the most obvious example? The one who's building the Mayapur temple. Who is he? Yes, Ambarish Prabhu. He's the grandson of Henry Ford, right? Son of Henry Ford is the Ford cars, automobiles. He's very rich. He's using that for Krishna. Entire Mayapur buildings they built, on his, well, actually a lot of devotees have contributed, but he matches them cent for cent. It was written there in the donations. When I sometimes donate to TOVP, it's a temple of Vedic planetarium in Mayapur. Sometimes donate there, but I was just reading the advertisement there. It said Ambarish Prabhu is going to match you cent for cent if you give this much money for Narasimha's pillar being built, the Narasimha deity, and then there's Prabhupada, and then they wanted some donation for the deity dresses. So I thought, wow, we can only give a small sum, but anyway, we still give. So Krishna will fulfill your wishes, provided you don't abuse it. Now looking at it from a non-devotee's perspective, right? So you are a devotee. Say there's a non-devotee, and he desires something. Krishna won't care. He'll give it anyway. Provided, there's also a proviso there, provided his karma, according to his karma, he deserves it. In other words, if I am a non-devotee, not surrendered soul to Krishna, and I want to, what do I want to do? Let's try something very drastic and dramatic. I want to kill someone. Not that I will do it, but if I want to kill someone, there are many murderers out there, right? Krishna hasn't stopped them from murdering. He's actually given them the intelligence. Okay, go out and murder. This is not a devotee. It's in the karma. It's in the nature. He doesn't interfere. It's crazy. It's scary. But they will accumulate karma. In the next life, they will get murdered too. And the saga continues. The cycle continues on and on and on. So with a non-devotee, Krishna facilitates that too. And he witnesses everything. And there is one other witness other than the super soul. Who's that? Any guesses? Yamaraj. Who's Yamaraj? He's a god of death. He's in charge of hell. He's in charge of punishments. Just recently, I usually have these dreams, but anyway, just recently I had this dream where I was told that Yamaraj is looking at your story, my story. And I thought, oh my God, I'm going to hell. Because if Yamaraj comes and knocks on your door, knock, knock, you're in trouble, mate. Because it's not the Vishnu Dutas. The Vishnu Dutas are representatives of Lord Krishna. And they will take you to Lord Krishna. But if it's Yamaraj or Yamaduts, they will take you to hell. So I thought, oh my gosh, this is just a dream, by the way, so don't take me seriously. I don't know whether it happened or not. Oh my gosh, Yamaraj is looking at my story. And then there was a voice, don't worry, it's favorable. I thought, oh great, 2 thumbs up. So whatever it is I must have done, he's happy with that. So the point is that we have to accumulate pious deeds. Pious deeds are, just be a good person. So that the super soul who's witnessing, and then the Yamaraj's, whole team, department, they're also examining you. So that's why, people think, let me do this, no one's watching. Especially non-devotees. Devotees, they know Krishna is watching. Non-devotees, let's say, let me do this, nobody needs to know. I've eaten meat today, but I'm going to tell everybody, I'm vegetarian. I didn't do that, of course. I'm just giving an example. So don't take me seriously. I don't eat meat. But somebody could do that, Obviously, Krishna saw it. Obviously. And obviously, Yamaraj saw it. So, what's the point? The point is just be good. Just be good. Because you are being observed, witnessed. That's the function of the Supersoul Paramatma. He witnesses everything. So, he's actually watching you eat the fruits of your karma. You have past lives and you have accumulated lots of karma. Like, you've done good things. Maybe in this life, you will enjoy some very nice things because in the previous life, you've done some very good things. So as a result, you've got a great house, you've got lots of money, or whatever it is that makes you happy, fun, party, great, family, body, whatever. You're having fun. You've done something good to deserve it. Krishna is watching you. Enjoy the fruits. Just like, bird on a branch. Actually, I had a dream about this also. I always get realization dreams, so I like to share it because it makes things a little bit more easier to learn and understand. So what I saw was this big tree, and it had fruits. And these fruits look like, pawpaw fruits, the papaya. But the tree looked like a jackfruit tree. It was really huge. And it was full of these fruits, papayas, and they were all ripe. In other words, the fruits that you are enjoying are all ripe. It's been ripened, like it's come to its full matured stage, and that's what you enjoy. And I saw that I was eating all these fruits, and some of those fruits were half eaten, and it was disgusting looking because they were all ripe fruits, and they did not look good. And that's what we are doing, each one of us, by the way. No exceptions. Each one of us, we are enjoying the fruits of our past life. Some of those fruits are bitter because you've done some bad things. Some of those fruits are sour. Some of those fruits are sweet. It depends on what you've done. And while you are enjoying those fruits, the super soul is watching you. And all the time, the super soul is the Paramatma, is Krishna. I asked my Gurudev this question. I said, this body is not very nice. How can Krishna be there? It's all flesh and blood. It's not really like a palace or an altar. How is he situated there? And Gurudev's answer was that it's like a hologram. It's not the actual form, but hologram is like a reflection. And Paramatma is like a hologram inside you. It's like that. Anyway, he is watching you eat all these fruits, and all the time, every single time, he is waiting for you to turn your face towards him and turn to Supreme Personality of Godhead, rather than enjoy the fruits and more fruits of your karmic reaction, like material karma. He's just waiting for you to turn. So he's basically kind enough to be with you for all your lives. He knows all your lives. All your lives. And there's another very important function of the Paramatma. That's my personal favorite. You can choose what your favorite one is. I think you might want the one, maybe some of us like the ones where he facilitates you and tells you how to get stuff. Gives you the intelligence. My one is he helps you remember, he helps you forget, and he gives you the knowledge. Why I like those things, 3 things. He makes you remember things, he makes you forget things, He gives you the knowledge. Your previous lives, he's made you forgotten. I mean, he made you forget the previous life. And it was described like this. If you had to play the role, if you were acting, play the role of a king, but in real life, you are very poor. I won't say beggar, but very poor. So how will you actually pretend to be a king if you don't know what it feels like to be a king? So what Krishna does is he makes you forget that you are very poor. And all of a sudden you feel, hey, I'm a king, so I act like a king. So what he does is makes you forget your previous lives. And then you get into the role of your new one. That's what he does. And the reason I like that one, or a lot of it, is because you want to know what you've done in your previous life. There's another very important thing he does. He sanctions actions, by the way. Sanction means he gives permission. They say that not a blade of grass moves without the will of Lord Krishna. So sometimes devotees, you see, they're doing some strange things like they're not supposed to. I mean, I was faced with such a, sometimes, I was faced with a certain situation. And I was told, the Paramatma within you also speaks, by the way. So you get some messages. It depends on how long you've practiced Krishna consciousness, how much you've chanted. The more connected you are with the Paramatma. And you get to a certain stage where you can hear messages. Some of us don't even have to practice it because in previous life you've practiced Krishna consciousness. And so in this life you do. You get those internal messages. It's like some people call it intuition. It exists. So my one was, this thing is sanctioned. And I was like, what? It's sanctioned? Why would Krishna sanction something like this? I won't tell you what it is. The reason is because it is part of your karma, first of all. Secondly, it's part of your desire. And thirdly, it's payback time. So, sometimes you have to pay back a debt, huge debt, to someone, somewhere, somehow. And obviously, after that incident, 2 years on, I had, the reason I'm going to tell you why I like that forgetfulness and remembrance part that Krishna plays, as a Paramatma within you, because he's the proprietor of your senses. He is the owner of your senses. He is the proprietor of your mind. He is the proprietor of your intelligence. So through that, he gives you all of those things. So 2 years on, after being sanctioned for whatever it is I was supposed to do, I did that. 2 years later, when this particular person is gone, there was somebody, there were a few people involved, but this particular person's gone. 2 years on, I remembered fragments of a past life. Yay! Because I had asked Lord Krishna, what was this sanction for? Why did you do it? So then I remembered parts of the previous life, and I had met this person in the previous life. It does exist. So if you really want to know, you were born before. And some of those people who are sitting here, you've met them before in a previous life. Surprise. Yeah. You meet them again. So I remembered certain parts of that life. So that's why it's such a favorite. Because if I had remembered, and another thing is, if I had remembered the full life, goodness gracious, I wouldn't be sitting here thinking I'm Syamapriya, disciple of B. Krishna Maharaj. I would be living a previous life. I'd still be continuing. So it kind of, Krishna gives us the forgetfulness so that you can settle into your new life and enjoy the desires. He actually reminds you, hey, Prabhu, hey, lady, you desired this in your previous life. He'll remind you. So in this life, I'm going to give you this. You had some unfinished business with such and such. So you finish off your business here. And he will make you, meet the same person again, and you finish off your business. Hopefully, in Krishna consciousness, if you are a preacher, you happen to preach, turn them into a devotee. And finish your business like that. So the question then becomes, what is it that I must do so that I don't have any unfinished business in the next life? Because what happens is, whatever we do now, we're going to have to pay for it. There's a reaction for it. What is it? This is my question to you. I wonder if you like to answer this question. What is it that you have to do with whatever your activities are so that you don't come back and you don't have any unfinished business in the next life? So you don't have to be born again to come and finish it off in the next life. What do you have to do? It's a very easy answer, but it requires a bit of thinking. What is it? Surrender to Krishna, that's a good one. And that is, it is correct. Just a little bit of maybe correct wording. Surrender to Krishna is good, that's the answer. But anybody else has a different answer or different words for the same answer? Yes? Yes, replace the material desires with spiritual desires. That's another one. Yes? Meditate. Yes, they're all good. You focusing on Krishna, focusing on Krishna, focusing on Krishna. The answer, that is all correct. Just the wording is, whatever you do, do it for me. Whatever you do it for me. Who's me? Lord Krishna. He said that in the Bhagavad Gita. All your actions, yat karosi, that particular verse in the Bhagavad Gita, is whatever you do, whatever you offer, everything you do it for me. There is no karmic reaction on that. And you don't come back and you don't have to finish up your business with such and such persons. And really, in a nutshell, this verse is about that, understanding the Paramatma, understanding Super Soul. He's your best friend, by the way, your best mate. Why? Because he has taken this sankalpa, this vow, to be with you right till the end, life after life, until you reach Godhead. Who will do that for you? No one. He's going to accompany you with whatever you've done. Maybe previous life you did bad stuff, previous life you did good stuff. You are, depends on what state of, doesn't matter what stage of life, even what form of life. We could have been animals, because there are animals out there. They also have Paramatma there. He's with them. And Paramatma individually, he's localized within each one of us. And he will be with you right till then until you reach Godhead. So he's waiting for you to turn to him. He's waiting. And luckily all of us are here, so we are turning to him in our own way. Now, there was one thing that I wanted to point out. He knows the past, present, and future, right? How does he know the future? Okay, the past has happened. The present is happening, so he knows both of that. How does he know the future? What's going to happen? How does he know that? Well, he's God. He knows everything, right? The reason he knows that is just like it's described, like a father knows what his child is going to do next. If he gives a lollipop, the child will like the lollipop. If he gives a child something sour, maybe the child doesn't like something sour, he will reject it. So Krishna individually knows each one of us, and he knows what our reaction is going to be. So Prabhu XYZ, if I present him with this is what the reaction will be, because he knows you very well. If you look into the eyes of Lord Krishna himself, the first thing you'll notice, it's another experience, first thing you'll notice is absolute knowledge in his eyes. Absolute. Which means he knows you so well, you can't hide from him at all. There is no hiding. You can't hide. Which goes, I'm just going to expand a little bit on that one. We sometimes face devotees, right? And they go to the altar, or they come in public, they'll say, I pray for, service, birth after, devotional service, birth after birth. That's my desire. Or they will say, Krishna, let me serve you, or let's serve Vaishnavas, or, be a good devotee. That's external prayer. Krishna knows what's in you, whether you're really asking for it or not. What is it that you really want? Your heart's desire. He knows that as Paramatma. Are you just, I'm not judging anyone, but he knows if somebody is just playing lip service, I want devotional service birth after birth or whatever. He knows that that is a play of words externally, but inside your heart desires something else. He will know that. And that's why we suffer what we do. Krishna gives us reversals. Have you heard of reversals? In our lives, especially devotees, they go through reversals. What does that mean? Sometimes devotees face these calamities, and people say, oh my gosh, this is a good devotee. Why are they going through so much suffering and pain? Krishna arranged it because they needed it. Not because they've done something bad, but they needed it because it's their desire to get closer to Krishna. I'll give you an example, a good example. Yudhishthir Maharaj in the Mahabharata. These are cousins of Lord Krishna, when Lord Krishna was present on this planet. Lord Krishna accompanied the Pandavas everywhere. He was present with them as a friend personally, not as a Paramatma inside them. He was outside them. He was a friend, as a brother, as a cousin. Every day he was walking with them. Yet, the Pandavas lost their wives. They gambled away all their kingdom. Their house got fire. Lots of people tried to murder them, conspire against them so long, and then they had to fight a battle to get their wife, revenge. All these things, get their kingdom back. They suffered so much. They were exiled. They had to beg for food, and they were prince. Each one of them, they were prince. They had a kingdom. They didn't have to beg. Krishna was with them. How come they were facing reversals? Like, for example, even I try to take myself as an example because I don't want to pick on anyone. That's why I don't say this particular person or that. But suppose I was going through a reversal. I say, well, this Mataji gives the classes in the temple and all these things. How did she end up getting ill, all these things? How did Yudhishthira Maharaj and the Pandavas, how did they go through so much reversals? Krishna was with them personally. Why? Well, the answer is, Krishna says, if I'm particularly benevolent towards one devotee, or particularly favorable to a devotee, if I like a particular devotee, if I love a particular devotee, and this devotee has the desire and deserves it, I take away everything. And you think, take away everything? If you love somebody, why would you take away everything? You'll want them to be happy. He takes away everything so that your only source of happiness, dependency is Lord Krishna. Only Lord Krishna. He makes you dependent totally on Him. As soon as you do that, He gives Himself to you. Imagine, He takes away everything, but He gives Himself to you. So you choose. It's like Arjun and Duryodhan, they had a choice. Arjun said, I want you, Lord Krishna, for the battle that was going to happen. There was a big battle that was about to happen. Duryodhan, he didn't say, Lord Krishna, I want you. He said, I want your army. So, Lord Krishna said, okay, fine. And he gave it. He gave his army to Duryodhan. He only gave himself to Arjun without any arms or, nothing. And he said, I'm not going to fight or lift a finger to battle in the battle. I'm not going to help fight you or fight anyone. I'm just going to be there. But Arjun won, just with Krishna. So the reason why we suffer reversals, coming back to that, we suffer reversals because Krishna is particularly kind to that particular devotee, particularly generous. And that's why devotees suffer. And they get purified for that. They get purified. And they get closer to Krishna. And the realizations come. There's so many realizations after that. You think, oh, Krishna exists. Oh, Krishna did that. Oh, Krishna did this. You kind of feel Krishna with you. And that's a very good stage. Because say that you happen to give up your life at that stage, Who are you going to go to? Krishna. Because you have no other dependence. You're not dependent on your father, your mother, your spouse, your brother, sister, friend, whoever. No. You are going to call Krishna and you're going to end up with him. And that's why he does that. It might look cruel. To me, it doesn't look like a good system. Even today, I'm speaking the truth. I'll say, Krishna, what kind of a system is this? You really make your devotees suffer so much in order to achieve you. Why would you do that, Krishna? This is a very bad system. Suffering is so bad. People suffer so much. So you kind of think, okay, but at the end of the day, you surrender to Krishna, okay, you can do whatever you want. You will still be my worshipable Lord unconditionally. You can make me cry, you can make me smile. It's your world, I belong to you, you are the proprietor. You can do whatever you want. Just don't leave me, don't make me forget you, always make me remember you. That's it. So that's surrender, that's the final stage you come to. After all your experiences, all your lives, and all of that. So that's the end of the class. Anybody has any comments or questions? Yes.
Yeah, I just want to share in terms of the interesting point you brought up how Krishna even knows our future, which seems like, well, we have free will, so how can he know what we're going to do, right? Yes. But yeah, I heard Mr. Krishna Master saying that Krishna, he can simultaneously, he can know and still have, as if he wouldn't know, be excited and know. Yes. Like for us, if we know something, then we would, well, okay, I don't, then it's boring, right? But yeah, that's Krishna.
That's right. That's true. He gave us the free will, by the way. So how does he know what's going to happen in future? That is a good point. Because you can do whatever you want, but he knows what you'll use your free will for. And he pretends to be surprised. But he knows. He knows. He knows everything. He knows past, present, future. That's the beauty part. Krishna is called Bhakta Vatsala. You know what that means? That's a very endearing quality. He loves his devotees and do anything for them, including sell himself. He was about to sell himself to his friend Sudama. The very poor friend, Brahmin friend, came to see him. He was about to give all his riches and kingdom. He was about to sell himself to his friend. It was Lakshmi Devi who came and rescued him in time. No. I will give him all the riches and everything. You don't give yourself, please. But Krishna is Bhakta Vatsala, which means he gets sold for love for his devotees. He gives himself. He will do anything. And he knows, he gave us free will, but he knows what we'll do in future. He knows. He knows the future. He's God. So with that, I'll leave you to reflect on the Paramatma for today. Meditate on the Paramatma. Hare Krishna. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam Puran ki. Srila Gurudev ki jai.